hurts.
I always feel like an idiot when I bite the fork. Have you done that recently?
Yeah.
Where it's just like.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I've done that.
Probably
and
haven't,
it makes
just
my
don't
teeth
remember
hurt just thinking about
and it hurts, and then you eat everything really slowly for like a week.
Or, like,
One
with a
time, I
plastic
don't know
fork.
how I did it, but like I thought I had something similar where I put a fork in my mouth of food, I bit down, and I thought I bit the fork, but instead I had just bit a weird way to where my incisors on my top and bottom collided and hit each other. That's the only time I've ever done that. It hurt so fucking bad.
That's awful.
I need to like bite something soft now to get that feeling out of my mouth.
You know what? I don't like when I eat with somebody who does that on a regular basis. That's the way they clean their fork off, is they bite it and go.
I hate that sound.
And they go every time they take a bite.
I
Can we
can't-
please change the subject?
I can't eat with any piece of the silverware touching my teeth.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
not my teeth.
Like
No.
with soup, I don't want to suck a foreign fork or spoon. I want to
Suck a foreign fork.
So I just I put it in my mouth and I just tip it out.
Sounds like such an insult. Why don't you suck a foreign fork? How about that?
I know people who will clean their knife off with their fork, like to get all the food off of it and like eat the food
Do you know
off
what
the
would
fork.
be
It's
absolutely
like, why?
awful? Biting a chalkboard. Just looking like that would just be the worst. wouldn't it?
I'm going to abort the podcast, I swear.
There's a second time for
talk about
everything.
maintenance. What if your teeth grew like your nails and you had to clip your teeth like every
Like a rabbit.
every 2 weeks, or just get like sandpaper? and
Or you just
sand
had to
them
chew on shit, like you carried around a block of wood. You're just like in a meeting, you're just like, like you're just chewing on the wood, like, oh yeah,
They're,
great
like,
idea.
gross and full of drool. Oh,
down. You
ugh.
actually bite your cheek while you're.
I never
chewing
knew I
on
had
your
a
block.
phobia until right now.
What, clipping your teeth?
No, just like stuff with your teeth and like biting chalkboards.
so-
Do you have, does
Soggy
anybody have
words up,
sensitive
yeah.
teeth? Like,
Nah.
I've never had a problem like biting into ice cream or cold things or hot things, but I know there's a lot of people who they'll see me like I'll bite an ice cream cone. They're like, how the fuck can you do that? Doesn't that hurt?
I feel like it
No.
depends. Sometimes I have that, sometimes I don't. Should we could get a ball of ice cream right now, and you could just with your front teeth just go like, right into it.
I would
Could
not
you?
do that. I would not do that with anybody else. I hate eating ice cream with other people because this is actually my pet peeve with eating in silverware. I hate the way other people leave ice cream on a spoon. Like if I get a scoop of ice cream and I eat it, spoon comes out of my mouth, it's clean. It doesn't come with that like flattened layer of like mouth
Well, that's
cream.
what it is. You've got the curve. You've got the curve of the spoon, and it's the perfect like topped off layer.
And then they
It's
go,
got like those divots
then
in
they
it
go,
from
you
their
want to
lip.
bite? It's like, no. You've been running that across the roof of your mouth. It's
So what are you talking about here?
just people.
People you live with?
No,
People who
no.
would necessarily offer you a bite of ice cream from their mouth.
Just randomly over my life, it's
Okay.
been a pet peeve of mine. And actually, you set me off for a long period of time. Gavin has the confidence to say things as though they're rules, even though they're not in any way. Gavin one time convinced me it was completely improper etiquette to ever switch your fork and your knife in your hand while you're eating.
See, we've had this conversation. I don't think this ever happened.
You absolutely told me this. And I believed
I
you for
just
like a
said
year.
I
I was conscious about not switching my
You
hands.
thought that was bad etiquette?
That's
He told me it was.
what's
would just
worse
never
is
do
that's
it.
stupid that you went along with it. You're like, oh, I can't switch it. Like,
That's
fuck,
actually-
fuck etiquette. Fuck the rules. Put your elbows all over that table. Fuck it. Who cares? I hate that shit. I'll put my elbows on any table. President's across from me. Fuck it. Elbows on the table. I'll switch my fork and my knife all night. I don't give a fuck.
You
That's
leave ice
actually
cream on the
actually
spoon.
better etiquette.
I
is
think
switching
it
after you
is.
cut.
I think you are supposed to switch.
Yes.
But I don't think it's either British people don't do it or I don't do it, and I'm rude. But it makes no damn sense to switch.
Because you eat
It
with
totally
your right
makes sense.
hand.
No. Like
What
here,
I'm talking about here is if
fork,
you're eating
knife. Then there's none of this, ball.
yeah,
Sopping all over the
I
place.
usually will cut, set my knife down, and then switch to my.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
that's what I
it would be
do.
weird eating with the fork in your left hand.
Gavin literally told me it was improper etiquette.
I
Do
think
you
the
look at the
reason
time
is
on your left hand?
Yes.
Weird.
First of all,
Is-
don't-
oh my
how
god.
weird
Oh my
is
god.
that?
Is this the same motion as this?
It's pretty much close, isn't
No,
it?
it's not even close.
I think
By
I
the
can
way,
explain
Also,
this for you guys very
putting the
simply.
fork in your mouth requires a lot more precision and like fine motor skill to like get it in there just right.
I think
Well, my
it's
motor
because
skills are great.
it's better etiquette to eat like this with the fork rather than when you cut your hands like this, so it's going like that.
How about this then?
I like the way
How about
Barbara
this?
did
How about
that
this?
too.
Flip it.
The way Barbara held the fork was like this, as opposed to you guys who was doing this, like this fist monkey grip with silverware. Like
I do a, I do a
why would you even?
I can't wait to see the gif of that.
Why would you even bother with? How dare you?
I'm just gonna start smashing all my food and just picking it up.
It's not a bad idea.
Spaghetti.
Oh my god! Did I tell?
No.
Okay, so I moved, and there's that animated adventure about me wanting to cancel the gas service for everyone on my block.
Yeah, you want to turn off everyone's gas.
Right, because the previous homeowner had turned off my gas and it was a mistake, and they wanted to charge me a reactivation fee. There's an animated adventure about it. If you don't know the story, go watch it. Well, since I'm moving, I had to call the gas company to transfer my service to my new address. So I call them. They're like, "Okay, hey," I was like, "I want to transfer my service." They say, "Great. What's the password on your account?" And I say, "Password? I don't have a password on my account." I'm like, "I'm sorry, sir. I can't do anything to your account. It says here I have a note that says no one is allowed to touch your account without the password." I'm like, "I don't know what it is." He's like, my hands are tied, sir. It's very explicit instruction. I cannot do anything to your account without the password." So I say, what letter does it start with? And he tells me, and I say, "I have no fucking idea."
I'm surprised he was allowed to tell you that.
First letter, and then I say, "There's no way that it could be that." And he goes, "Really? You can't guess it based on this first letter?" I say, "Well, that's a different letter than you told me the first time. Which one is it?" He goes, "Oh, it's this one." "Okay, well, I know what the password is then." And so I say it, and he goes, "Okay, good. Now I can help you." And then he's, the guy's typing, putting in the new address, and he says, "Wow, it is literally in every comment field on your account.
Because you're a jackass.
It says, do not change any of this without the password." He says, "I've never seen this before. Literally every field, every page of your account says, ask for the password."
Wow.
And I said, "Yeah, I got kind of mad once."
That's awesome that they actually implemented that.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say they will and then they don't.
I like how you didn't remember what past Gus did with all the passwords and stuff
I
like
know. I was
that.
like, I have no idea. It was
You were just
past
mad at
Gus in a fit of
yourself.
rage,
Yeah.
just saying shit because he was angry.
I will say, whenever I know I'm going to be in first class, I always pick near the front because the food options are probably going to be run out by the time they get to you if you're in the back of first class.
It's like
There's
6
usually-
rows.
there's usually like 12 people in first class.
They run
Yeah,
out,
but
though.
they'll have maybe 20 meals and maybe like 7 of each.
Yeah, it's
So-
usually like, would you like to change-
20 meals, 7 of each.
Oh, no, that's like...
It's like, usually they don't really serve a lot of meals on planes anymore. But when they do serve you a meal, it's the weirdest thing. It's like, would you like the chicken parmesan or would you like the snail face? And it's like, oh, I'll have the chicken parmesan.
Yeah.
And then after 7 seats, it's like all that's left is snail faces.
But
That's
if you're-
it.
I want to eat a snail face now.
Yeah. What if
It's always like some super horrible option. You know, do you want the slow roasted brisket or do you want the ketchup salad? I mean, it's like, I never understood that.
Your pilot sneeze.
Oh my god. We had to hurry up and buy a new couch because Burnie threatened to destroy the old couch if we didn't replace it.
I don't like the size of the couch. It like spread us out too
I
far.
thought you were going to take it for your office too.
No, I know, but I was gonna now that this.
Also,
I'm
this
thinking
couch
about
is just as big. We just sit in different
No,
places.
it's
on it.
No.
it's smaller.
significantly smaller.
If we sat all the way,
I'm
we're,
closer
we're,
to
yeah,
Gus.
we're brought in also.
I'm way closer to Gus.
I'm
now.
the same. Like, if we sat where the other one was, it's the same.
It doesn't matter. It brings me and Gus closer, which brings me
Oh,
closer
so it's
to
all
you.
about you and Gus.
It
Yeah.
brings me closer. It's smaller. It's less room in
It's
the
smaller.
fucking
Yeah,
stage.
you want me to bust out a fucking tape measure? The old couch is over there.
I do, because I don't believe you that you're actually closer.
Look, look
Patrick,
at that right there. Look how close Gus and I are compared to how we normally
What were
are.
you like
I
before?
He literally.
We were like that, Gavin, but further fucking away from each other. Exactly like that.
you're going to measure? Oh, wait. We're measuring the couch right now.
Are you guys
Stop it.
measuring the
Put
same
it to the
thing?
edge, yeah. 85.
85
inches on the new couch. Look at that.
I know. I'm
All right,
trying,
we'll
I'm
go
trying to
and
get
do the
hit
other
your
one.
hands.
Accurate.
Gus is gonna now go and measure the second couch, the old couch.
You should sit in Gus's seat for a second there, Gav.
Going to.
This is going to be quite a moment.
How you feeling?
Whoa.
Gavin is now
I feel so close to you.
in Gus's
Weird.
chair.
95.
10 inches.
10 inches?
A foot. It's a foot. It's a foot. When you're talking about like butt width, that's pretty good.
10 inches isn't a
Practically a
foot.
It's a Gavin. Don't fucking start with me.
It's a metric foot.
Brilliant.
Why,
So,
why is a foot 12 inches? How do we end up with these fucking arbitrary numbers? Like, who's the asshole
what's
who's like,
interesting-
okay, this is an inch and 12 of these is a foot? Why wasn't someone else like, why 12?
Well, that's the thing. It's all
Because
based on some random
guy's
shit.
foot was probably 12 inches, and so he
That's
measured
Gus,
off of that.
that's why people like the metric system.
you know how a lot of things.
Although the metric system's fucking arbitrary too.
Metric system's awesome.
You watch your mouth.
You know how a lot of
I mean,
standards.
it's nice when they're relatively like easy to convert from one to another. But how long a meter is like how long light
yeah,
travels.
right.
And
So a lot of measurements are based on a theory of a finite thing, a thing that can't change, like the speed of light. or something else. Except,
Is that what the word finite means to you? Can't change. There we go. Ahead.
well, that's not what I mean.
Fixed.
There you go, fixed.
It's standardized. Go ahead.
But a kilogram isn't based on anything like that. It's just based on the kilogram.
They're all. Listen, a meter's totally arbitrary. They standardized it with. You ever see what a meter is? It's the distance that light travels in like
Right,
times 10 to the negative whatever of a second.
They've created a theory that can't be changed. So if you're ever in doubt of the meter, you just do that and figure out how.
I think
Gotcha.
they
kilogram-
retroactively made a definition for the kilogram, though.
Gus, if
you
you're ever
are
in the
correct. There
wild-
was a kilogram, and then they said we need to come up with a standard because of the thing you're saying. And I forget what I'll look up the definition, but they said, okay, it needs to be the mass of this particular element.
Yeah, like that many atoms.
Right,
But there was a
exactly.
time where they protected the kilogram because there was one, and then they made a load of copies of them and buried them deep underground. Because if someone broke in and chiseled
Smash
a bit
the kilogram?
off, they would just change the kilogram.
Seriously?
In theory, that's what the kilogram is. It's that based off that one. So if someone smashed it, they would be changing what a kilogram is.
I think we're with
even though you
Yeah.
can just figure out how big a kilogram is
Right.
because we've got all these.
Yeah.
together.
You just make another one.
The gram was originally defined in 1795 as the mass of 1 cubic centimeter of water at 4 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. It's all based on
Blah, 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 blah.
at 4 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
It's important. When does everything ever get to 4 degrees Celsius?
Yeah, but that could change, though, couldn't it?
It absolutely. How could it change? If water changes? Like if you had Evian?
I know what he's thinking. Like
Go ahead.
impurities in the water.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's
minerals.
pure water.
Like
they
what?
can, scientists can deal with fucking pure water.
Did they have pure water in 1795 though, when the
Listen,
definition was
how
created?
the fuck did they measure when they came up with how long a meter is? It is the length of the path traveled by light in a vacuum
Yeah.
during a time interval of 1/299,792,458 of a second. Who the fuck's gonna measure that?
And read the definition of a second.
I know, right? Then you gotta look at the measurement of a second.
And
It's
that's like how far light travels on this atom something else.
Nailed it.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, and I think, going back to the kilograms because I'm still obsessed with that.
No, that's based on a solar day. It's 1/86,400th of a solar day.
What?
That's 1
Well, that's
over
slowing-
86,400.
There's an actual definition of a second.
I'm looking at the I'm looking on Wikipedia, so
Keep reading.
you don't tell me what to do. Yeah. Duration of 9,119,631,770 periods of the radiation corresponding to the transition between the two hyperfine levels of the ground state of Caesium-133.
Yeah, a specific type of atom element
It's just so specific.
and how many times it radiates around itself.
How do we get here?
Because I started bitching about a foot and an inch because I was measuring the.
What's it all based on?
the thing.
And it's like these are the accepted
It's
things.
my fault for bringing up the
And then we
fault.
have to come up with a standard
The-
to measure it.
So what? Okay, there are no two objects that are the same length, right? Because
Every
of-
object is the same length. I'm just refuting you. Of course there's two objects that are the same length.
where?
What does that mean?
Well, okay, fine.
Like there are two MacBook. I guarantee there's another MacBook Air that's the exact same length as that in the world.
No,
To what precision?
real precise.
Oh, to real precision. Whoa.
We're talking atomic?
Well, you zoom in more, and they'll be vastly different from each other. Proper, like, well zoomed in. They'll be
Proper,
like this.
well zoomed in, real precision.
But I'm wondering which two objects man-made are the similarest in size.
What if there's two things that are not the same type of object but are the same size? Like,
Right,
what if I had
yeah.
a rock that was this big?
Or like a rock that's this exact same size as your skull.
Yeah.
Or but the top of your skull is probably like a mountain range or close up,
What's that mean?
like lumpy and not smooth.
Maybe. You know, it depends. I've lived a good life. I got some
If
things.
the universe is infinite and all possibilities exist, is there a rock on a planet somewhere that looks exactly like Burnie's skull? You're like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Absolutely.
That's the power of infinity. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like imagine astronaut Burnie landing on this alien planet. Like that rock looks just like my face.
Not only is there a chance that it's exactly there's a rock that looks exactly like your skull. There's an infinite number of rocks that look exactly like your skull.
Would you?
I just want to find one.
Infinity is a crazy powerful concept.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
kind of bandied about, but it's crazy powerful.
Would you recognize your own skull? Do you think out of a pile of
No,
skulls
I've always been curious.
about your skull?
Yeah, I always wish too that we could like separate it, like have people who take bones and they make a dinosaur, take a human and make a human like from bones.
They do that all the time. What are you on about?
I mean, just tell us what a human would look like based on their bones. Gavin, shut up.
No, I get what you're saying.
If you've never seen a human in real life, if you had to like build a human just based on our bones,
Right.
I don't think dinosaurs look anything
look-
like
Like,
what they
like
do.
what if you
Park.
gave someone a giant box, and in that box was all the bones for a human skeleton, all the bones for a dog skeleton, all the bones for a cat skeleton.
What,
and you
mixed together?
Yeah, all mixed together, and you say make a human, and see like how much shit they get wrong, like trying to fit all that.
No, but I see what you're
stuff
saying.
No, I'm
together.
saying you just give somebody a fully formed skeleton, give it to him, someone who's never seen like an alien, and say, what is this animal look like with all of its meat and skin?
Like if you had to do it with
go the other
CG.
way.
yeah, go the other way.
How many bones are in your head?
All of them.
You're red.
Thanks. I have kept all of my bones in my head.
Like you're talking about like your skull, your
You got
jaw.
32 teeth. You count teeth as bones?
Well, yeah, no. Well, the ear
Gavin.
bones.
Yeah, no.
Well, wait, Gilbert. You got 32 teeth.
They're not
You got a
bones, though, really.
jawbone.
Yeah.
You got plates in your head. I think you got like 5 or 6 of those.
And the jaw isn't the skull.
It is too. Why not? Wouldn't it be?
Well, it's a different bone, isn't it?
Then the skull?
Well, skull's a bone.
Gavin,
could jaw
if
be
it's
a-
one bone is the skull, then the answer to your question is 1. How about
Wait,
that?
What do you mean?
Because you're drawing these
What
fucking
do you
arbitrary.
mean?
You're like, how many bones are in your skull? And I said the jaw. I go, well, it's not a different bone than the skull. So if there's only one skull bone, then your answer to your question is fucking 1.
Well, so the jaw's
You're
not
s-
a part of the skull.
You're splitting.
I'm asking you if the skull-
You said it's a different bone.
The jaw's a different bone to the skull.
Are you asking
It-
about the
okay,
head?
So if
or
you're
just
saying it's a
the
different
skull?
bone than to the skull, then the skull is its own bone. So the answer to your question is how many bones are in the skull? 1. Because all the other bones are different than the skull bone. All of them. Including the jaw, including the fucking teeth.
So a skull, when you hold a skull, you're holding the head minus the lower teeth and jaw.
So you're specifically eliminating the teeth and the
No,
the lower
the bottom
teeth. And
No,
the
just the bottom teeth.
Why are- why-
Don't be stupid, Bernie.
But why are you getting rid of that? Like I understand why you get rid of all the neck bones because you're saying it's the head part. But
What
why
neck
would you
bones
get
are
rid
you
of the
talking about? Like
jawbone?
spine?
Why are you drawing the line?
I think the reason, if I may interject on Gavin's behalf, I think the reason he draws the line there is because the lower jaw is only connected through connective tissue. So if you lose that tissue and just go down to bone, the lower jaw falls away.
Aren't all your teeth the same way then too?
No.
Why?
Teeth are lodged in the bone of the skull and the jaw.
I believe he is correct.
Well, they are in there, but they're like held. They're held in place
they're not
by
bones.
connective tissue. The roots of the teeth hold them in.
Well,
Yeah, you need to define this a little better, Gavin. I'm trying to help you
You
out
tell
here.
me. You tell me.
I was just asking, if you have a skull,
What's the answer you're looking for? We'll agree.
if you have a skull,
I have a skull.
you're just holding the top layer of teeth and the rest of the head.
Okay, so you're saying let's get rid of the jaw. You're saying it's
I'm
not,
saying
it
that's
doesn't
not the
count.
skull.
Okay, so you have 16 teeth in the top of your mouth.
Well, you're so obsessed with the teeth.
Because you're asking me, Gavin, you're asking me how many bones are in my skull, and then I'm counting them for you. I'm doing exactly what you're asking
Why
me
are you
to.
so obsessed with the bones?
I'm doing. Why are you so busy counting? I'm doing exactly what you asked me to do. You asked me how. I'm trying to go along with you,
said how many
and
bones in
you're
that-
stopping me
I
every
said how
step
many
of the
bones
way.
in that-
Fighting you like you're stupid for trying to figure it out.
Why
You don't classify teeth as a bone?
you just said all the teeth. I even asked you at the beginning of this. You count the teeth, and you said no, yes, no. So okay, let's go over this one more
Well,
time.
I was thinking,
How many bones are in the skull?
no, the skull's a bone. How many bones in that? How many bones are in the head?
How many, does your head include your jaw?
Your head has to include your...
You get
Oh
to
my
count.
god!
No.
What are you?
So now we're counting the lower jaw.
If you talk about the head, I was asking-
You said the head!
that's what I was trying to find out. Was
You're mental.
whether if you had a skull, would you have the lower teeth? And I guess you wouldn't, because
That's not all this is about.
Is that really what it's all about?
yeah, I was just trying to figure it out. Oh my god! But I guess the skull is only the top teeth
Oh my god!
and all the rest of the head. And that.
Oh my god! Why'd you ask it that way then?
I was
hey,
just-
Gus, how many bones are in your feet? Because I want to know if you're wearing shoes. How many? Why did you ask that? Why didn't you ask?
It was an evolving question. Like the more you talk, the more questions I had.
It was not an evolving question.
No, in my head, I was just like coming up with more questions to it because then I was thinking about the bones in your ear. Are they in your head? And yeah,
You mean all the little bones in your inner
like
ear?
the stirrup.
Yeah. So you count that.
Yeah, I
even
was
though.
just wondering how many bones are in your head, and then I was like, is the skull to your jaw as well? Is that separate?
Well, now I'm wondering. So if you have a skull, like say a person, and you just
Decapitate it.
set them in a chair,
Right.
and they die, Ugh. And then they rot away, and you come back in like 3 years, and they're just a skeleton sitting there. They're just a skeleton sitting in the chair, and then you take the skull, whether or not the spine comes with it, and the neck and the jawbone, teeth doesn't matter. Are the little bones in the ear. Can you like rattle it and knock those things out? Could you like shake those out?
Would they fall out?
I
don't
didn't
know.
hear
I
a
don't-
single thing you said after
Like, what's
you
the
made that death
cochlea?
impression.
I think there's three.
That's
in
not
the-
a bone.
There's 3 ear bones, right? And one of them's
Well, what is this? Like cartilage?
I think so. Yeah.
one of them's the smallest bone in the head, in the body.
The
right?
stirrup?
Yeah. And there's 3 bones in your ear.
I think so. I don't know the other ones. I know the stirrup
Anvil, right? The anvil's
Anvil.
one.
and the drum. I used to know this. That's like
The baton.
Just
I think
put
it's like
this-
fourth grade science.
Put this conversation to bed. Google how many bones are in a head.
How many bones are in your head? It's gonna be like people arguing.
Take the head off the top of the spine.
How
This
many?
is going to be evidence in a trial. Your Honor, I submit that Mr. Burns performed a Google search asking how many bones are in the head. That's totally like creepy serial killer.
Do you want
Google
your skull
search.
or head?
Do you head?
Well, how could there be more than one bone?
Real
in the-
precise, proper zoom. From Twitter.
That's awesome.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
many
internet. I'm sorry about
Who
this.
sent that in?
bones.
I feel bad for just leaking my brain to the internet podcast.
Why not? That's entertaining.
Well, I mean, it's entertaining for me, but
How many? There are 29
else.
bones in the human head.
Nice.
It's just gonna be. Are we? I'm on this page, funtrivia.com.
And I take it because there's
Fun
only
trivia is the
29.
best trivia.
There's only 29 that there's no teeth included there.
They consist of 8 cranial bones,
So we have 21 left,
14 facial bones,
7 left,
the hyoid bone,
6.
and 6 auditory ear bones. So I guess
Three on each
sets
side.
on each side. There you go. So,
So
they
the
don't.
skull is a bunch of bones.
The skull is 8 cranial bones, all the plates and stuff like that,
Oh, Christ.
and then
like the
14
Earth.
facial bones. I would not assume I have 14 bones in my face.
Well, you got your cheekbones.
Go ahead.
That's all I know.
I was about to say you just ran out of bones for me.
Cheekbone?
You got cheekbones
Your
and that's
forehead
it.
bone. No, that's part of yours.
What's the little
Or
like?
what about the orbital?
What's
Is
the
that-
little bone that like in the when the nose is gone? See, what would a human if you built? If you never saw a human before, you saw a human skull. There's no way you would build ears and a nose on it. No way. Like we see dinosaurs, we don't put a big hunk of schnoz. We just go, okay, just take the bones, a little bit of meat, wrap it in skin, done. There's no like,
Well, you would
wonk,
no,
you know,
would look
ears.
at the hole and you'd be like, "What's this hole for?" And then you'd probably think of a pipe leading to the hole.
Sure.
And then you wouldn't just have a opening gash
What's
in the
this,
front of your
though?
face.
What's all this? Like this cone on the outside of my face. Like cat
why would
ears.
it need to be
What
like
if
this
dinosaurs had big fucking human
They'd
ears
be
like
so
this
cute.
on the side thing or antenna or
Big
something
human
like
ears,
that?
they'd be so cute.
If they had ears, dinosaurs had like big mouse ears.
I mean,
Oh.
they don't even know if they had feathers or not. I mean, that's a big difference. And yet we draw these like scaly
Well, I mean-
reptiles that are green. They're all green.
You wouldn't tell that we had hair because there's no follicles on the bone.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It'd be hard to, if you never saw. We just base what we call dinosaurs. Like if we travel back in time, that would be the biggest shock of all.
Yeah.
Was like
What
Dinosaurs are all
actually
covered in
look like.
slime.
just like
Who knew?
Yeah, they're just or they levitate.
They all
I mean,
have human ears.
that's why they have no arms. They don't care. They just like
Or
fly
Dinosaurs
everywhere.
are telekinetic. Wow, didn't see that one coming.
It's great.
Apparently, I found out the answer to why, supposedly why a snooze is 9 minutes.
How because they just add the digit. It's like it's an
Apparently-
analog.
Is that
thing.
enough time before you fall back
I'm gonna
into
guess.
deep sleep?
I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
It's like an analog thing where they would set the gear back so far for the alarm, and it was just like there's
Like
big
9 is
gears
the
and little
highest number.
gears, and then the big gear is the one digit basically.
Close, essentially.
Okay.
Like they wanted snooze to be, it was an analog thing. They wanted snooze to be 10 minutes max, but the mechanism was never precise. So it always ended up being 9 minutes and something. And then when they switched to digital, which was more precise, they could just make it 9 minutes flat.
Yeah, but time is 12.
Yeah, but it's just like a legacy thing.
It's 12. Hold on a second.
Gavin's brain,
go.
I know
said
what it is.
So wait, I'm beating you 2-0 at this point. Gavin's brain.
No, I
time
had
is.
one last week.
We were 1-1.
Yeah, you got
we're
one
1-1.
each.
Oh, 1-1. Okay, so go ahead. You're saying Gavin just said time is 12.
So time is 12 means that
Time
there
is
are 12 hours. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And also 60 minutes an hour, which is divisible by 12. You break it down into 5 sections of 12.
Gavin.
Well, yeah, like, why would... yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. That's exactly what I meant.
Is it?
Good.
So
now
why
you're-
would
I'm
it be-
I'm
why would
losing
it be
this
10
game
then?
2-1
Is what I
now.
wanted to know.
It's like the 10 was the arbitrary part. They just wanted it to be 10 minutes max,
Time.
but they
Right.
couldn't
12.
make it.
Yeah, but do you ever tell someone
Precise.
like, "I'll meet you there at 5:12"?
What?
If time is 12,
If
Yeah.
time is 12,
Why
you don't,
don't you say,
you don't
"I'm gonna
say
meet you
like,
there at
"I'll meet you
5
there in 12 minutes."
5.1.
I'll see you there
5.2.
at 10:12.
oop.
You don't say that.
I guess not. I was just thinking of how many numbers are on the face.
What are you on about?
What are you talking about?
All right, we got to wrap up. So, like I said, we're gonna have our live stream on Sunday at RTX, available to everyone, and that will be rebroadcast next Monday at our normal time. Come back Wednesday for the patch, and check out all of the RTX stuff at rtxevent.com.
This is the last week of the Indiegogo campaign too. We appreciate everyone's support, and if you could share it with your friends and let them know, especially mutual Rooster Teeth fans, I would appreciate it. And also, I want to say one more thing before we go.
Yeah.
A very good friend of ours, Ryan Wyatt, Fwiz on Twitter,